Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I just now received, actually, a couple days ago, this piece. Actually, I got a couple of Piko pieces, and being that I'm a big fan of the Hungarian State Railways, which is commonly known as MAV, Magyar Állam Vasutak. Obviously, when something like this comes out, especially in three rail, I definitely want to try to get it. Hungarian pieces are rare, to say the least. So I try to grab them when I can, and I happen to grab this one. So, obviously I'm more of a Markland and a Hog fan, but Pico seems to be doing a very, very good job in their newer stuff. And, I have a few locomotives, especially MAV, from them, and this is another one that's going to be added to the fleet. I have a second one that I have. I'll do another video on that, and of course, I'm probably going to order another one because they do a lot of the Eastern European nations, the railroads, and more so than anybody else. Although now Markland has started coming out with some of that. I remember when Markland came out with two MAV engines, a diesel and electric. But they were mainly common. They were already, they had the molds for them, and it was basically just a repaint with some additional features added to it. But this one here is definitely different, okay? And this is what they call a Gans Mavic product, so in the real life. So that's pretty good because, like I said, the other one was what Markland did was a Taurus, and then they did a No-Hob, which both of those obviously were in the Hungarian railway inventory. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So this happens to be a MAV M44, and this is obviously for System Markland, and it's Era 3. Okay, so, and of course there's the item number for anybody that's interested in 52383. Okay, so, and this is supposed to have sound in it. So let's take a look at this now. I have this book when I went to Hungary. This was at the Transport Museum in Budapest. If you have time and you're in the city and you like transport, especially railroads, definitely it's it's worth going to see. This is not, I remember there's also a real train locomotive museum, but this is the Transportation Museum. So you also see automobiles, taxi cabs, aircraft, of course, trains, trams, subway. I think there might be a subway car in there. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think that the one is there is a subway car at the end of the Millennium Line 1 that you can see. So they also have model trains in for display, and they have Markland in there too. And just a little bit of thing here that when I was there last time, which was in the early 2000s, they had an O-scale, I believe it was O-scale Commodore Vanderbilt Markland in there. Commodore with that streamlined New York Central. I mean, it was beautiful. So, okay, so let's open this book up. So I got this book there. I don't think it's in print anymore, but I'm very happy I got this because it shows a lot of rolling stock and hardware that they got. So we have the M44, which is this guy right here. That's what Piko did. And, it is from Gans Mavic, as it says here. And it's a BOBO or Bobo, truck, diesel electric. So this is a diesel electric, diesel villamos, tolato. In other words, this is a diesel electric switching engine. So, and they made these from 1957 to 1971. I remember back when the first time, well, in the 80s when I went to Hungary, I seen one of these on a station outside of Budapest, and for a second I thought it was like an Alco or a AMD SW1, but it almost has some similar traits to it. So so there it is. So let's take a look at the model and see how it looks and try to get it up and running. All right, so this is the expert series. So obviously it's more money involved in it, and it's supposed to be really super accurate. And out of the expert series I got, they're definitely that. So let's go ahead and take this out like this. And they're following a lot of like Markland's steps, footsteps of Markland, because their instruction sheets are here. So let's get the box out of the way. And let's see, and again, as I always say, every video I will say it, let's take a look at the instructions and read them. Let's go over them because the instructions are there for a reason. And before we even unpack this, we'll take a look at it. So, so instructions for use. So let's start with that. All right, so they have it in English, which is really good. Now, if they have it in Hungarian, that's okay too, which they do. All right, so they talk about the prototype, and which I showed you the actual pictures from the Hungarian book, and they are very reliable. They were in mixed service according to this book, although in Hungary I never seen them in a passenger role, but they've been all around Czechoslovakia and of course Hungary, Poland, Soviet Union. And actually I do have the book here for Soviet railways here, and I don't remember ever seeing that one there, so I don't know how accurate. And I've got that book, Locomotive Soviet Type. So let's just take a quick look here, see if it happens to be there. And you know, I don't remember seeing it. This might be here. It is. There it is, right there. There's the M44 right there. So, yep. So they're right. Okay, so all right, so V16. So actually, let's see here. This was equipped with a V16 diesel engine, okay, and it was able to go 80 kilometers per hour. So V16 is pretty beefy. So, all right, so this is the safety notes. There's nothing that we need to go. Of course, this is a model, not a toy. We know that. This is for Plux interface. Okay, so loco oil. Looks like the only thing you really have to do here with this is to oil it and change the traction tires. Okay, it's not telling me to do anything else, which is really important. Okay, then they have here a little Piko insert, like a small catalog insert. Firmware update. It is for Piko models with decoders. It is recommended update the firmware. Okay, I've never had to do that to a model before, but it's there for a reason. Okay, this is for, looks like for the decoder. First time use of the decoder. Enter address 3. Okay, for motor marker for Motorola mode. This, I believe, should be MFX. So, obviously, here on the 6021, we're going to use 03. And then we'll put it on the main layout. Okay. And there's the Motorola. It's configuration of CVs, Railcom, fits MFX, obviously. So, okay, so we want to hold on to that. So there's all the CVs and the description. So very good. This looks like is the parts or exploding diagram, I guess. So, I mean, they're very thorough. Piko's very thorough. I think they're probably a little bit more, they're more thorough than Markland. In this case, I must say, look at that. So, just so you know, if anybody needs Piko parts, I think you can get them from Helmets Hobbies. It's Scott, order them from Scott Hausman. He is an authorized Piko reseller. And actually, just to let you know, that's where I got this from, if anybody needs to know. Okay, so, all right, so this is what I'm talking about. We got to read the instructions because lifting the locomotive from the base plate. This does have a base plate, so we have to, looks like it says here, there's a couple screws here to keep the equipment fully located. This transport lock must be removed and stored. Okay, so this is good to know. So I think okay, so I understand this now. All I have to do is just remove the engine, but if I want to take out the holder, I can just unscrew it and then you put it in a case. Okay, I got this. So that's what I mean. The instructions are really, really important. And we have here, okay, another one. Same thing for the, it looks like we got two of these. So, yep, we got two instruction sheets for the decoder. All right, so hopefully this thing is going to be easy. And we'll get it rolling here. And let's start. All right, so let's take this off like so. All right, sleeve. Let's put the sleeve off to the side. And then we get a parts bag here. And I will just keep those right there for now. I very rarely put these parts on because some of these parts are mainly for display only, okay? So, let's lift out the engine. That's that easy. And if I want to use the display track, I just got to remove these screws that use a Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, so far so good. Very super easy. All right, now let's move this off to the side. Okay, and very nicely they put these in here so you don't bend the rails. And let's get the other side right here. Okay, and put these and put the engine down like this. All right, so let's take a closer look at this engine here. All right, so it has the spoked wheels on it. All axles are powered. Okay, it has a CAN motor, obviously. And this is typical of Hungarian switch engines from Gans. Those many windows, which you need for switching. And this has basically two lights. Doesn't have the A light on it. And nice detailing. Just got to be careful of the railings. Okay, they're very solid though. Okay, you can, just like anything else, just be careful with it. But it's not like some other models where if you even just touch them, they'll break off or whatever. But yeah, so that's the underneath side of it, the roof side or the top side of it. All right, so let's try to see if we can get this engine going. So we'll stop on that. They said 03, so let's rail the engine. Okay, it's railed. Let's move the camera in a little closer and let's do this. And then the plan is see if we can get it running. Then I have to register it in the Central Station 2, and then we'll give it some work. So, all right, so 03 to start. Okay, let's hit go. Okay, I heard something right off the jump. It started some sound. Let's see if we can get the engine to move. There it goes. Okay. Very smooth. Look at that. Let's turn on the lights. Okay, you can see the lights. And I'll tell you, it doesn't make hardly any sound. Even the pickup shoe doesn't make hardly any sound. That's one of the complaints that you get a lot of with us three-railers, that the shoe makes a lot of noise. But here, it doesn't. Hey, look, we even got red taillights, or reverse. So let's put that like that. And here we go. All right, so let's see about giving it some sound, okay? All right, so let's press F1. Let's give it a stop. There we go. Well, listen to that. Sounds really good. That's the horn. Okay, that's Longhorn. That's the braking or the slow speed. Okay, very, very good. Let's listen to that. And you can hear the brakes. And they change, the lights change really smoothly, not all of a sudden. Okay. Okay, I gotta say, I like it. All right, so let's try to get it onto the main layout. Turn that off. We'll turn the power off on the 6021, and let's see if we can get it programmed. Now, the thing about programming on the 6021 is a little bit sketchy. I had one a diesel just recently. I'll do a video on it. You might have seen it on the layout already. The American, I forgot what the builder was, but I had all sorts of trouble with that, and I finally got it to recognize. So, all right, enough of that. Let's go on to the layout and see if we can get this thing to recognize, and we'll give it some work to do and wrap it up. All right, folks, we're back on the main layout, and I already gave it its break-in period. It's programmed into it's the Central Station 2, and it's ready for its first job. So let's see how things go here, and let's cycle through everything. So let's go ahead and give it the sound. We turned on the headlights. Okay, now with the Central Station 2, of course, we have a slew of functions. Well, let me give you guys give you good folks the horn. Now they also have the whistle that I normally see or hear in Russia. And then you have this horn too. So you got the long blast and the short blast. Now let's take a look at the lighting feature. So right here is where we have the undercarriage lights or the underframe lights. And what else we got? And then this is pretty cool. This is the instrument. You can see that the instrument panel lights up. And then of course now you got cab lights up. Then you can turn the marker lights off or on, which I'm going to do in the back. I'm going to go ahead and turn those off. And then you got these other sounds like door openings. And of course the coupler. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's get started. Let's move the train. And, you know, ironically, we have a Hungarian refrigerator or reefer right next to it. Okay, which would be typically correct. Alright, here we go. Let's give it a short blast. Alright, let's try to follow it around. A little bit more speed. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the cab lights because normally you wouldn't have the cab lights on when you're running. So I'll keep the instrument panels running. Okay, now this is definitely not a speed. It only can go at 80 kilometers per hour. So typically for switching, so we'll keep it at this speed for now. Let's speed it up just a tad. Well, they said it was mixed traffic, so just also a little bit of trivia. Also, Behave, Budapest, the long distance suburban trains also had these, by the way. And there's also a hybrid version of this, which I happen to have in I believe it's a dome model, DOM. Now I might pull that out. It's not the greatest runner, but it has a pantograph on it, and it's a hybrid version of this. So that's actually modeled after the Budapest Have system, which is a suburban railroad. So, and I've actually seen the Have version of this in Budapest once, not the hybrid one, but in any case. All right. So definitely a good job, and we'll bring it to a rest right here. Hammer down, up, and stop the train. Move the camera a little bit. Sorry for my bad camera maneuvers here, but I'll move it around a little bit, and there it is. So, well, that's my review. I like it a lot. Obviously, MAV, all-wheel drive, lots of special effects. So, kudos to Piko on this one. Very good. So, actually, I was talking about the other diesel unit that's right behind it. It's a Winton diesel, I believe, but I'll be doing a review on that as well. Okay, so that's about it for this one, and I will come to you with another video as soon. And again, as I hope you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and there's something you want to ask, please leave a comment. Good, bad, or ugly, please. Other than that, I will bid you a good night. And again, I'm going to always say clear tracks ahead, or clear signals ahead. Okay, so bye for now.